One celebrity slapped an interviewer in anger while another stormed out after an intimate question. These are 15 celebrities who checked rude interviewers. First up, we have Mike Tyson's interview, and let's just say he doesn't play around. Now, we all know Mike isn't the type of guy you want to mess with. But that didn't stop one interviewer from trying. When the interviewer brought up his past, it felt more like an attack than a question. He wasn't having it.
Some of your critics would say, there's a race for mayor. We know you're a convicted racist. This could hurt his campaign. How would you respond to that?
Hey, I don't know who said that. You're the only one I heard say that. You know what I mean? And I don't have no comment to that, because it's negative and you're being negative. And I met the mayor, right, and nothing they can do about it.
He's been through a lot with his career, and the last thing he wants is all that negativity. With that simple response, Mike made it clear that he is not here for negativity and baseless accusations. Don't poke the champ. Mike has no problem putting someone in their place if they cross the line.
Is it nerve-wracking for you to do something like this, or is it more nervous for you to box?
It's more nerve-wracking for me to hear talking to a rat piece of shit like you.
Come on, Mike.
No, because you're a piece of shit.
All right,
you really didn't have to
we're gonna wrap up this interview. Thank you for coming in.
Fuck you.
Mike was not having any of it and cut him off with a blunt response. It was such an awkward moment that the interviewer had to wrap it up, probably regretting ever bringing up the question in the first place. Another unforgettable encounter was when an interviewer pranked Tom Cruise during a red carpet interview. Now, Tom Cruise is usually all smiles and charm, especially at red carpet events, but during one interview things took a weird turn when an interviewer thought it'd be funny to pull a prank during the red carpet.
Yes. No, why would you do that? Why would you do that?
He gave Tom Cruise a mic and proceeded to pour liquid on his face from the mic. It was awkward from the start, and his reaction made it clear that the joke was not funny. He wasn't amused at all. He questions his reason for that action, and you can tell he's genuinely confused.
Come here. Why would you do that? No, it's okay. No, wait 1 second. What's so funny about that? It's ridiculous. Do you like making less of people? That's really... Hey, no. Don't run away. Don't run away. That's incredibly rude. I'm here giving you an interview and answering your questions, and you do something really nasty. You're a jerk.
It became more uncomfortable when he didn't let it slide. That's what you get for messing with someone like Cruise. He's not afraid to call you a jerk right to your face. Up next, we got Megan Fox, who shut down a creepy interviewer because he tried to flirt with her.
I don't know if there's a man alive who's not in love with you in some way.
The interviewer, in his attempt to compliment her, made a comment on how every man alive must be in love with her. But Megan wasn't having it. Instead of letting it go, she hit back with a soft yet pointed response.
You're so silly.
You know what am I really?
You're a silly man.
No, I'm not silly at all.
You're a silly man in a checkered shirt.
I am not. Wow.
She didn't get defensive, but you could sense that she was not interested in being reduced to just her looks or having her worth framed in terms of the male gaze. Her playful response, calling him out for being silly, made it clear she was moving the conversation back in a more respectful direction.
So now I think you're flirting with me. I'm kidding. Whoa.
Oh, dude.
Meanwhile, Samuel L. Jackson had a different reaction. Samuel Jackson had to deal with a case of mistaken identity in a particularly cringeworthy interview. In the interview, the host confused him with another black actor. You can practically feel the tension build when the interviewer brings up a Super Bowl commercial that Jackson had nothing to do with.
Did you get a lot of reaction to that Super Bowl commercial?
What Super Bowl commercial?
Oh. You know what? I've been my mistake. You know what?
See, you're as crazy as the people on Twitter.
Right.
I'm not Lawrence Fishburne.
Samuel wasted no time correcting him, making it clear he wasn't about to let that slide. It was so awkward, but Jackson handled it with the kind of confidence and authority that only he can pull off.
That was my fault. My mistake. You know what?
We don't all look alike.
Flogger, you're
We may
exactly
be all
right.
black and famous,
You
but
are
we all don't look
guilty.
alike.
I am guilty.
Next
busted.
I am guilty.
He thought you were Bob Dylan.
Right.
You're the entertainment reporter.
I know.
Reporter
Right.
for this station.
Flog.
And you don't know the difference between
I
me and
know.
Lawrence Fishburne?
My mistake. My mistake. I apologize.
The interviewer tries to apologize, but Samuel wasn't letting him off the hook so easily. He made it clear that just because they're both black and famous doesn't mean they look alike. This is another moment where we've got Gordon Ramsay, who is not a stranger when dealing with criticism. Usually he's the one dishing out the criticism, but in this interview, the tables were turned. You know things are about to get real when someone tries to pull a fast one on him.
It's really weird for you to give me a piece of paper, and when you say, am I satisfied that it's a good steak, you have to be a little bit more honest with me on that one. What are you trying to get at?
Now, if there's one thing you don't want to do, it's show him photos of bad food, especially from his place.
It's grim. It's fucking grim.
The interviewer tried to make a point with the pictures, but Ramsay wasn't having it. He called them out right away, pushing for a little bit of honesty instead of whatever that setup was.
If you had a bad experience in my restaurant, I mean, why didn't you say anything at the time?
I'm
Yeah.
eating that steak. Like,
I know, but you're being a little bit stupid. Come on.
And of course, Ramsay didn't stop there.
But you asked the steak to be cooked well done.
and is that a well done steak?
Oh, come on. What is this? I don't eat steak well done. That's your prerogative because you're the customer.
After being shown the photos of the steak, he calmly reminded the interviewer that if they eat steak well done, they're not really in a position to judge its quality.
That you asked for a steak to be cooked well done. It's gone past any form of taste when you've cooked it well done. So, I'm really sorry to piss on your bonfire, but it's a bit of a stupid question. Oh my God.
Thank you very
I thought it was an intelligent interview. What a disaster.
We also have Morgan Freeman, who shut down his interviewer.
Black History Month you find
ridiculous.
Why?
You're going to relegate my history to a month?
Oh, come on.
What do you do with yours?
How are we going to get rid of racism until...
Stop talking about it.
During an interview, Freeman was asked about Black History Month, and his response was as thoughtful as it was powerful. He questioned the concept. He made some points about Black history being American history, and he didn't want to be reduced to just a month. Freeman's response was dignified, and it left the interviewer completely speechless. Next up, we have Kanye West, who gave us one of the most iconic interview outbursts ever.
Sway, take a few steps back to go.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers, Sway.
Kanye,
I've been doing this more than you.
Doing what?
You ain't got.
Me? Come on, chill out.
During a 2013 interview on Shade 45, Kanye was being pressed about his struggles with Nike and his fashion lines. He snapped and went on a rant. The interviewer suggested Kanye should empower himself and go independent, and that's when things exploded.
You ain't spent $13 million of your own money trying to empower yourself.
Yes, but I spent hundreds of thousands and putting out clothing lines at a smaller degree.
And it ain't no Ralph, though. It ain't Ralph level.
Let me ask you this.
Things got even more tense when the host tried to compare his own experience in fashion to Kanye's.
What's the name of your clothing line? We don't know.
Kanye.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I lost money.
Exactly, and I could lose money on a higher level, too.
Wait,
don't think because I got the most or the least money.
Let me finish my question, dog.
Man, man.
Let me hear the question.
You could feel the frustration as Kanye pointed out that his challenges were much bigger. We also have Robert Downey Jr., who had no patience for the interviewer who was trying to dig into his personal life.
The reason I'm asking about the past is that you've talked in other interviews again about your relationship with your father and the role of all of that in, the dark periods you went to, taking drugs and drinking and all of that.
The interviewer, Krishnan Gurumurthy, who is a British journalist, decided to dig into Downey's past. You could see the moment he realized this conversation was heading somewhere he wasn't comfortable with.
And I just wondered whether you think you're free of all of that? Still something
I'm sorry,
you...
I really don't. What are we doing?
Well, I'm just asking questions, that's all.
Right.
I mean,
But as the interviewer kept pushing, he was done with it. He quietly ended the conversation and walked out.
Bye.
Thank you guys.
It's okay.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you.
Yeah.
He made it clear that some things were too personal to be brought up for an interview, and the importance of respecting them, regardless of how famous they are. This interviewer, Krishnan Gurumurthy, might as well win an award for putting celebrities in the most awkward situations. First, he tried to dig into Robert Downey Jr.'s personal life, and now he had his sights set on Quentin Tarantino. But if there's one person you don't want to try and corner, it's Tarantino.
but why are you so sure that there's no link between enjoying movie violence and enjoying real violence?
I'm going to tell you why I'm so sure. Don't ask me a question like that. I'm not biting. I refuse your question.
Why?
Because I refuse your question. I'm not your slave and you're not my master.
During the interview, he brought up the often debated link between violence in films and real-life violence, a question Tarantino had probably heard 100 times before. But instead of taking the bait, Tarantino shut it down with his usual intensity.
You can't make me dance to your tune.
I
I'm not a monkey.
I can't make you answer anything. I'm asking you interesting questions.
And I'm saying I refuse.
Okay, well, no, I was just asking you why. That's fine.
The interview quickly spiraled, with Tarantino standing his ground, making sure he wasn't going to dance to anyone's tune. Next up, we have Tom Hardy, who handled things differently with a calm demeanor. The interviewer tries to sneak in a personal question about his sexuality, and he keeps it cool, calm, and collected.
In the film, your character Ronnie is very open about his sexuality. Your own sexuality seems a bit more ambiguous. Do you find it hard for celebrities to talk to media about their sexuality?
What on earth are you on about?
He hits him back with a simple question, and honestly, the awkward silence that follows is priceless. It was a moment where you could feel the tension, and Tom was just cool about it. He left the interviewer speechless.
But what is your question?
I was wondering if you find it difficult for celebrities to talk about their sexuality.
I don't find it difficult for celebrities to talk about their sexuality. Are you asking me about my sexuality?
Sure.
Why?
Why?
Thank you.
Okay.
But that's not the only moment Tom checked an interviewer.
I have a question for Tom Hardy. Tom, I just wanted to ask you, as you were reading the script, did you ever think, why are all these women in here? I thought this was supposed to be a man's movie.
No. Not for 1 minute. That's kind of obvious.
Tom doesn't even flinch. With his trademark calm and a slight pause, he completely shut it down without making too much comment. Kristen Bell, on the other hand, could handle her temper when an interview with a reporter took a weird turn.
You're in this, you're the boss, she's not. Who's the boss in this? I don't really care, Kristen.
Okay.
The reporter, who was clearly drunk, started asking her questions. As if that wasn't bad enough, he kept calling her baby while she was trying to leave.
Okay.
Whoa, baby, don't get it. Kristen, it's really okay.
It was one of those moments where she let a reporter know that his disrespectful attitude wasn't going to fly. The slap wasn't just about being annoyed, it was a clear message that boundaries need to be respected even on the red carpet. Machine Gun Kelly was also not having it. In this particular interview, things took a turn when MGK was asked a seemingly innocent question about how being a father had inspired him as an artist. You would think it was a safe, reflective question, but Kelly was not in the mood for it.
She knows all your songs. It's so stinking cute. She's your biggest fan.
Yeah.
How has being a father inspired you as an artist?
I'd say I did a lot of. Man, I don't want to talk about this. Dude, I've done this so many times, dude. Can we just? I don't want to do an interview, man. Can we just do? I don't want to let my music speak for me. I don't have shit to say. I've been saying shit for years, dude. Man, y'all listen. Listen to my fucking songs.
MGK.
Without hesitation, he responded with frustration, making it clear that he wasn't interested in bringing up the same old topics. You could feel his irritation as he expressed that he wanted his music to speak for him rather than relying on interviews to explain his artistry. Finally, we have Jonah Hill, who had to deal with a particularly insensitive question.
I wanted to be healthier, and I went and saw a nutritionist, and that's what I did. Stuck to it.
But are you still considered the fat guy? Are you the fat guy in Hollywood still, or is everybody like look at you and they're like, oh wow, you know, this is great, now you're healthy?
Do you have any other questions that are smart?
During an interview, the interviewer asked if Jonah was still seen as the fat guy in Hollywood now that he had visibly lost weight. It was one of those cringe-worthy moments where the interviewer clearly didn't think before speaking.